All set.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna call the Ashford Board of Finance special meeting to start at 6:50 on Thursday, April 8th, 2021. I'm gonna call that to order. I think we will do a roll call, so I think I'll start. Charles Funk.
Angie DeSanto.
Angie.
John Kopek.
John.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I don't know which computer it's coming from. It's Garth Bean.
Garth.
Someplace.
Jesse Burnham.
Jesse. And Judy, I think you're muted. Still can't hear you. Michael, is Judy muted from your end?
Her mic is open from what I can see.
Huh, I wonder why she's not able. I see that her mic is off from my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Judy, can you say something now?
I'm gonna try to shut off her video. She seems like she's on a lag. It may be a connection thing. So let me try turning the video off and leave the audio open.
Okay. Judy, can you hear me? Can you say something now?
No, there's nothing coming through on her mic. It's open, but there's nothing there. Judy, if you can hear us, if you have multiple microphones that you are able to select from using the up arrow down on the bottom left-hand corner where the mic button is, you may have another microphone on your computer, which is why we can't hear you.
Hi, Valerie, it's Chuck. We have a meeting starting at 6:50 for the special meeting. Are you going to be able to join us? Yeah, so we have a special meeting at 6:50 and we have a regular meeting at 7. So if you want to join, that'd be great. Thanks. Yep. Bye-bye. All right. So, Judy, I'm assuming we still can't hear you. Yeah. So, Michael, maybe what we can do is just have her video come up again. She was able to, give me thumbs up and thumbs down.
Yep.
I'm not
She
sure.
She just typed into the chat that she's here, but she can't turn on the mic. The only other option she has is she can use a phone and dial in, use the phone for audio, but you can do it this way too.
Yeah, it would be nice to have Judy's voice. Judy, would you be able to call in, you think?
Yeah, Colin, using your phone. I use 2 computers because I can't really get one to really work well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna seat John. Kopek for Carl. The next item on the agenda is action to move John Kopek, who's an alternate, to a regular member to replace Carl Falsgraf, who passed on March 19th. So I need somebody to make a motion to move John Kopek to a regular member to replace Carl Falsgraf, who passed on March 19th. So I need somebody to make that motion.
Jesse Burnham, so moved.
Anybody to second?
Second, Angie DeSanto.
Angie, thank you. Any discussion? Any thoughts by anybody? The only thing that I can add is that the Republican town committee did ask and send a notification to me that they would be endorsing John to take this position. So I think everybody's basically in agreement. Is there anybody else that wants to comment?
John, I'd just like to say that I would still much rather have be an alternate and have Carl with us.
Thanks, John. I agree with you. I miss him terribly. Okay, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Chuck, I'm having a really hard time. Chuck,
Yep,
this is Angie DeSanto.
yep. I
Yeah,
hear
I'm
you.
having a real hard time getting all of the audio to me. I don't know if anybody else is having that trouble.
I'm hearing everybody pretty clearly so far. I'll try to speak directly into the microphone for sure.
If anything's happening, I can't hear anything.
How about now, Angie?
That was good.
Okay. So we just passed a motion to seat Carl,
No,
seat John for
going
Carl.
now.
Okay. The next action is recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to call a special meeting to fill the vacancy created by the elevation of the alternate. So I need, excuse me. Hey, Valerie. It should be at the town website, but I will also, just go to the website. Can you get to the website and go to the agenda? Yeah, it'll be right there. Just click on it. Thank you. All right. So we need a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen that they call a special town meeting to fill the vacancy created by the elevation of the alternate.
John Kopek, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Jesse Burnham, second.
Okay, thank you. All right, so John Kopek moved, Jesse Burnham seconded. Motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen that they call a special town meeting to fill the vacancy created by the elevation of the alternate John Kopek. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we need a motion to adjourn so that we can then open our regular meeting.
John Kopek, motion to adjourn.
Second, Angie DeSanto.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. I will see you at the next meeting. Michael, what happens with that? Is this just a continuation of the recording and then I just open up the next meeting?
So you make your motion to adjourn. I'll pause the recording and then we'll continue it through and you're ready to call the next meeting to order. I'll restart the recording.
Okay, so we've made that motion to adjourn. We've adjourned. We're not quite ready for the next meeting yet. So I guess we stop the record.
Okay, you're recording.
Okay, meeting's called to order at 7:05. We will need to do a roll call again. I'll start. Charles Funk.
Angie DeSanto. Present.
John Kopek.
Esther Jagosinski.
Hi, Esther.
I'm trying both phone and computer. My computer is acting up over here.
Okay. Judy, did you call?
Judy, yep, Judy Austin.
We got me, and Garth, you're here for a while, right?
Looking for that mute button. Yeah, not long at all. I'll have to drop in just a few minutes.
Just let me know when you're signing off.
Okay.
Yep. So we've got Judy, me, blah, 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 blah. Who are we missing? John, Judy, Garth. Oh, Butch. Do we have everybody?
And I'm here too, Chuck.
Okay,
Jesse Burnham.
Jesse. Yep. Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right. Thank you.
All right. I was switching from my phone to the computer and I don't have everything worked out on this.
Yep, that's okay.
And I'm here as well, Chuck.
Okay, thanks, Catherine. I'm not exactly sure how this works, but I think when Garth signs off, I'm gonna seat Esther for Garth. So we'll wait on that. I have no communications. The next agenda item is approved minutes of the regular meeting Thursday, March 25th. I unfortunately realized at the 11th hour, like 5:45, that I had never sent those minutes out, which I apologize. That was completely me. Valerie got them to me in a very, very timely manner. And I somehow totally missed sending them or submitting them or anything. So I just did that. So we will postpone that approval to our next meeting. So my apologies, but you should all have them in your mailbox now. Public comments. Anybody from the public want to speak? New business, 6A, Selectmen's Update. Catherine, do you have anything you'd like to say?
A couple things. We signed the cybersecurity contract, which was, I think it was 15.5. And if Cheryl can let you know what the town's portion of it was, what the school's portion of it was. I'll move on.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact numbers, Catherine, that you had mentioned, but one of the things that we do have is John Lippert, the Board of Ed chair, is in attendance at our meeting. So one of the questions on the cyber security thing. Go ahead, Catherine.
From their minutes, you'll see that the school is pursuing what they need to pursue with that.
Okay. And did you send them the information that we had?
They were already following up as far
Okay,
as I can tell.
fantastic. Good, thank you.
Okay. And John, would you, you may want to ask John.
Yeah, John, do you want to just give a brief update to this board as to what you're doing as far as the cybersecurity audit is concerned?
Sure. At our last meeting, we took 2 votes, both of which passed, obviously. One was to spend the appropriate amount of money to get the cyber insurance for the year. The other was to spend as possible the amount of money necessary. I believe the quote is about $18,000 for the cyber audit. We don't necessarily have that amount left in this year's budget. So the motion that we voted for was to pay for it out of this year's budget if possible, and if not possible, to visit the Board of Finance and plead for the option to spend money from the non-lapsing fund for that purpose. And then if those 2 steps are unsuccessful, it would lap over into next year. We think it'll be fine though. Our understanding from the not invoice, but whatever, like the the offer
Estimate, yeah.
The estimate indicates 4 different steps, and it also seems to indicate that payment would be made in parts. So it seems like it's going to be a friendly process of payment, and that'll make it very likely that we'll be able to pay out of this year's budget until it's no longer this year, and then out of next year's budget.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Is it, just out of curiosity, is it the same group that Wellington had used? Do you know?
No, I don't. Catherine, do you?
I'm sorry, I don't have the name of the group in front of me.
Novus, perhaps? Does that ring a bell?
Novus.
Yeah. Cheryl, you're on mute.
Cheryl could probably tell you.
Novus is who would be doing your audit. That's who did the town's audit. I don't know who did Wellington's though.
Yeah, it's the same group. Their advertising was, they actually advertised both doing the town side and the school side on their advertising blurb. So I happen to know that Novus did do both Wellington's government side and Board of Education side. So that's good. I think we're heading down the right road, John. That's great news.
I'll continue then, if that's
Yep.
okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
And I concur. I think that's great, John. Union contract negotiations are going to start on Monday, the 12th of April. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, very good. Catherine, thank you. So the next agenda item is approve the fiscal year 21-22 budgets for public hearing. So I spent a little bit of time kind of looking at this. in past years, we've had an awful lot of discussion. There's been a lot going on with various budgets and moving parts. This year, we happen to be blessed, I think, with a pretty stable group of requests and so forth. So I think, and I guess this is me talking personally, that we don't have a lot really to discuss about this. We've kind of already approved and listened to many of the budgets, whether it's Region 19, Board of Ed, Ashford School, the town budget, general government budget request, and the 5-year capital budget. And there wasn't a lot there that we felt needed more discussion, at least along the way so far. So Catherine, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something? Yep. You're still muted.
I
There you
got
go.
it. I got it. I was just trying to find it. I had passed along, and I believe Cheryl probably did as well, that the E.O. Smith budget estimate has gone down.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
Just
no,
wanna make
that's
sure you
really
knew.
good. So, just to give everybody a quick update, Region 19, as Catherine just said, has come back, and the budget that they're taking to their hearing and their referendum, I think their hearing, is $22,322,352, of which Ashford's share would be $3,511,490. That is a reduction for the town of Ashford of $390,042. That's significant. So that's Region 19. The Ashford Board of Education's budget, their presentation, I thought was done well. I thought that their budget was thoughtful. I think that they came to us with what they felt was the bare minimum instead of, coming to us with, I think, some bit of wish list included. And so I don't think anybody saw much reason to push back at this point with their budget. So their budget comes in at $8,602, which is a 2.98% increase over last year. The town's general government budget request is $3,524,795, which is a 2.57% increase. Again, I thought their presentation was done well. I think they made a compelling case for all of their budget requests. And again, I didn't get much feedback from anybody about pushing back on that. The 5-year capital budget, as it stands now, is $955,045. And of that, coming out of capital non-reoccurring is $295,737. So what we need is a motion to send these budgets to the public hearing. So we, as a board, have to agree that these are the budgets that we want to present to the public. These are not the budgets that we are necessarily sending to referendum, because we have to hear what the public has to say. And then we have to have a discussion after that as to whether we want to modify anything or not. But these are the budgets that I feel we should bring to the public to defend, and then see how the public reacts. So I think if I'm understanding this correctly, and Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong, and actually Catherine, you too, if you think something different, but I think what we should do is have a motion for 3 of the budgets. The general government budget, the Ashford Board of Ed budget, and the 5-year capital budget. And then I think we should have a separate motion to accept Region 19's budget. Their public hearing is going to be different than our public hearing. I mean, we will talk about Region 19 at our public hearing, but their referendum's on a different date. Those other 3 budgets are going to be on our referendum date. So I think we should maybe break that one budget out and have it as its own motion. Anybody disagree or agree?
I agree.
I
Okay.
agree.
All right. So the first motion that we would be making is to approve the following 3 budgets for presentation at the April 26th, 7 p.m. public hearing for fiscal year 2021, 2022. General government budget, $3,524,795. Ashford Board of Ed budget, $8,602, and a 5-year capital budget of $955,045. Does somebody want to make that motion?
Jesse Burnham, so moved.
Judy Austin, second.
Judy, thank you. Is there any other discussion?
John Kopak, I have a question. Where is the town in the reval cycle?
I don't have the answer to that. Cheryl, do you know?
It hasn't begun yet. Catherine, I'm sorry, Catherine. Kara has been going to meetings and preparing, but she hasn't begun yet.
And so,
Excuse me.
go ahead, Valerie.
John Kopic said, where is the town in the what?
Reevaluation cycle.
Okay. Thank you.
John, what's your thoughts on that? What are you thinking?
So the more I think about these budgets, when that reevaluation kicks in, we're likely looking at property value increases over what they were 5 years ago, depending on where we are in the cycle here.
Yep.
And next year's budget, we're staring down the barrel of a 3 mil increase.
Yeah, just to make a clarification on that, I don't think we're looking at 3 mils. If things go the way I think they might be going, I think what would be more accurate, given status the way it is right at the moment, we would be probably looking more at like a 2 mil increase. I'm not poo-pooing the mills. I'm just saying I think if everything stayed as it is now, but new budgets were then presented next year, we're looking at probably about a 2 mil increase.
Right. I went 3 mils because I looked at what the Board of Education gave us this year. They're calling a bare bones budget, and that's about 1 mil on its own, and that is just for raises. So they've already said they've postponed stuff till future that they need now. They've got this long wish list that's worth about another 1 mil. You add that to at least the 1 mil that we're going to get for the change back at E.O. Smith next year, and the best case scenario is a 2 mil increase next year.
Yeah, So just to clarify, right at the moment, the Board of Ed's budget in terms of a mill is an increase of about 0.75 roughly. The town's increase is about 0.3 of a mill, I believe. So right now, both of those budgets are hovering right around a mill for this year. Region 19 is going down basically 1.3 mils. So we're benefiting from that right at the moment. So what I'm getting at is, let's assume the school's budget was to go up the same as it did this year, and the town's went up the same as it did this year. We're looking at about a mill. And if the Region 19, which isn't going to go all the way back up, but very close to back up to where it is, at about 1.2 or 3, we're looking at 2 mils for sure. I think maybe slightly more. I don't think we'll hit 3.
It's still a shocking increase in 1 year. And like I said, I mean, just salaries alone at this point are like you said, are 0.7 mils just on the Board of Ed side. Depending on where we are in that reevaluation cycle, that could really hurt next year.
Yeah. Yep. Catherine, you raise your hand?
Actually, is it okay if I ask Cheryl a question?
Sure.
Cheryl, when we do a reval, it's kind of a rolling reval. It's not, we don't cover the entire town in 1 year. Is that correct? Do you know?
You're muted, Cheryl. I know, I'm trying to get my mouse off the other screen. That's correct. They do roll it somehow. I'm not exactly sure how it works, and they don't go into every house every year.
Correct.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
How that works.
So again, John, I'm curious as to your thinking.
I'm concerned about the stability of our mill rate down the road. We got a lucky break this year with E.O. Smith covering it, but that's not going to be the case next year. And we're looking at least a 1 mil increase every year guaranteed, it seems, at this point, short of, whatever E.O. Smith does. We're already high for our surrounding towns.
Yeah. So one of the things that I didn't factor into my thinking, mostly because I don't have a complete handle on it, but our grand list did go up this year. I mean, I don't have accurate numbers at the moment in my head. I'm working with basically last year's rates in my head right at the moment. I don't think it's going to be significant, but it's something.
I have the current grand list figure.
Yeah, what do you know what it is?
Yeah, currently it's 308,202,880.
Okay, so yeah, so it went up it went up something like 3 million this year or something. Is that right? Cheryl, do you remember?
I don't remember, sorry.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it wasn't insignificant. It did go up, so that was good. So John, what are you suggesting?
I have nothing to suggest. I'm concerned about that. It looks like it's going to easily be a 1 mil increase every year to cover salaries and benefits and a small amount of other stuff without doing anything big. And I don't know, that seems like a lot to me. 1 mil a year. It's, we'll cross 40 real quick here.
Yeah, so again, revaluation, that can affect some things. It doesn't affect the bottom line of what you actually pay. It's like I was saying, I think it's the town of Kent, their mill rate's like 17, but their property values are twice what ours are. So, the average household is paying the same amount of dollars that our average household is paying.
Yes, but while it affects dramatically the outside of the just average spots.
But
in
isn't
order
that
to
always
get
the
average.
case?
It is
Right.
always the case, absolutely. But, I think of mill rates, I think of attracting business to help reduce the burden on taxpayers. And a mill rate that's going up 1 mil every year is counterproductive to that.
So I'm unclear how to address that. I mean, it's a concern, right?
It's a
But I mean,
concern. I don't think there's anything we can do to address it this year. I guess the only question would be, will the taxpayers understand, looking at this year's budget at the meeting, that this is why we were in a fortunate situation this year, and this is also why we're not going to be in as fortunate a situation next year.
So one of the things that we had discussed at one point was having a contingency fund to deal with that future budget, because I believe that right now we can pass a budget relatively easily, even if we left the mill rate exactly where it is right now. So we could bank, and again, I am speaking about what we could do, not necessarily what I personally feel. But what we could do is we could land on leaving the mill rate where it is right now and take whatever that difference is. Let's just say it's $60,000. I don't know what the number is, but let's just say it's about 60 grand or 70, somewhere in there. And we put it into a fund that can only be used to reduce the future mill rate. What do you, so that's something that we could do. We've briefly discussed it. I don't know that there's an appetite to do that. I happen to think it's the right thing to, so now I'm speaking personally. I think it's the right thing to do to help the future taxpayer be able to not be as heavily burdened all at once. However, I also think I'm of two minds. I'm also thinking that of all years where some people really could use relief at some level, this is the year. And I'm speaking to, I think what John's was referring to, people on the margins, not on the upper margin. I'm talking about the lower margin. So, my personal inclination is to take advantage of the reduced mill rate. The more pragmatic side of me feels that we should leave the mill rate alone and bank those dollars. If I was dealing with my own budget at home, that's what I would do. But
Okay, let me interrupt just for a second.
Yep.
I need to drop to go to work.
Okay, thanks, Garth.
Okay.
So I'd like to see Esther, if she's here, for Garth at 7:33. Esther, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, great. So at 7:33, you've been seated for Garth Bean.
So I understand the concept of what you're talking about. But I'm in the same boat of, I would rather give as much relief to the taxpayers this year as I can. And the flip side of that would be, I can't imagine telling the taxpayers that, to me, it feels like I would be telling them that I can hold on to your money better and use it better next year than you holding on to it and paying it next year when it's due. To me, let them keep it in their bank. They know something else is coming. Let them figure out how they're going to do it. rather than me trying to run their finances for them by collecting more taxes than we need to save it for a future day.
I agree with you, John. And so where that lands me is it's incumbent on everybody that's attending this meeting to understand and help push this message for next budget cycle. I mean, it's more important to me, quite honestly, at our public hearing, which hopefully we have more than one person from the public, that we are talking more about that future budget than we are even about the one we're in. It's so anyway.
Agreed.
Catherine.
You have an opportunity to also put that in your budget letter,
Right.
some kind of a reference to it at least.
Yep.
And put it up front and center.
I agree. I think it's the most important issue in this budget is next year's budget. So anyway, any other discussion on the motion that's on the table, which is to approve the 3 budgets for presentation at the public hearing? The general government, Ashford Board of Ed, and capital 5-year budget. Any other discussion on that? Anybody else want to comment? Esther, Angie? Esther, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. It's somewhat negative about something, so I'm probably not educated enough to voice what is upsetting me.
Judy?
I'm good.
Okay. Jesse, you have any thoughts?
Well, just to continue on what John was saying, I feel very similar about letting everyone manage their own funds. However, I was going to bring it up in the comments for the board about expanding our ways of making sure we have like a page or half-page thing in the Ashford Citizen to talk about that, and maybe even sending it out to the Facebook group in town just so that people can know what's coming. Because not everyone reads the budget letter or comes to these meetings.
I would assume there's at least a whole handful of people that reads the budget letter.
Yeah.
Us.
I have my hand raised, but my computer just completely conked out. So can I append something to what Jesse just suggested?
Go ahead, Esther.
I think it's a fantastic idea because I think there's a lot of one-sidedness in what information is made public, and it always puts the Board of Finance in a very detrimental type of reputation because we're always accused of trying to fire teachers, and certainly that's not anything that we do or any of our decision-making. So a lot of people only read what is published by the superintendent and or people who have a specific agenda about the Board of Education. That's all made public, but there's never any factual information about what's going on and that we actually don't make decisions about what goes on at that school.
Yep, I understand what you're saying, and I think that's again, continued education by all of the board members to, again, educate the public to, what our role is. And I agree, it needs to be revisited in writing to the general public, but you can't force them to read it. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep it in mind with my letter.
Yes, and it's certainly up to us to educate, but if we don't get a platform similar to the superintendent, then we are disadvantaged.
True. Catherine,
So I think that's a great idea as well. So if you were to put something, if you were to do a write-up for the Ashford Citizen, explaining it, it can go into the, it can either go into the April version issue or in the May issue. The referendum's in May, I think it's the 23rd,
24th, I think.
24th. So you have the opportunity to get it into those issues in one way or another.
25th.
Yeah.
25th, thank you.
Referendum's the 25th, right?
Yeah.
The April citizens already out.
Right.
Oh, that's right, thank you.
Right. Okay, well, that's good. I was wondering what I was going to write next.
In your spare time.
Who else? Angie, do you have any thoughts on this particular budget?
Not anything that people have said already. I'm
Okay.
kind of there.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Should I read it again, or is everybody familiar enough? I'm going to read it again and then we'll vote. Jesse moved, Judy seconded, a motion to approve the following 3 budgets for presentation at the April 26th, 7 p.m. public hearing for fiscal year 2021-2022. General government budget of $3,524,795. Ashford Board of Ed budget $8,602,000, and the 5-year capital budget of $955,045. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, Angie.
Aye. Yep. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The second motion, the next motion would be to approve the Region 19 budget of $22,322,352, of which Ashford's share is $3,511,490. And this is for the presentation at the hearing. So I need somebody to make a motion.
John
Angie
Kopeck, so moved.
DeSanto.
John, I'm going to have you go. So John Kopeck made the motion, and Angie, I'll have you second it.
Sure. Oh, am I there? Yeah.
All right, so John Kopeck made the motion and Angie seconded a motion to approve the Region 19 budget of 22 million yada yada, of which 3,500,000 yada yada is Ashford's share. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Next agenda item is fiscal year 1920 annual report update. Jesse, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I'm getting some moving along on it. We've got a handful of reports that have come in, and I'm in the process of requesting to everyone that didn't submit their report yet to get those reports in. So
I haven't gotten a nasty gram from you yet.
yeah, I'll point my finger at you right here in public right now.
I'll try to get that out soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Angie, are you going to reach out to Amanda for help at some point?
Yeah, I'll reach out to Amanda as well. So,
Okay, just can you give the board just a brief update what we're doing with that individual?
sure. So being that it was a bit much to have anyone in the town office get this assembled as a nice looking report and edited so that the font all matched up and margins were the same, etc. Decided to get help from someone in the public to put it together. So
What is her last name?
Amanda Robinson.
Okay.
All right, great. And so Jesse, you're going to reach out to her and just sort of, start that process.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. There is a second opportunity for public comments. Does anybody want to comment? Where's Paul? All right. Agenda items for the April 22nd regular meeting. Not even sure if that's accurate.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Good. I did look at my calendar when I wrote this. Good. Or somebody did. I don't have any items right at the moment. We'll figure that out. Remarks for the good of the board.
Yes, this is Jesse. Kind of what I was saying before. I know Facebook has its, and other social platforms have their, it sometimes ends up being an online debate between people, but I do think that we should take advantage of the Ashford community page of at least just letting the public know, because it seems like I think more people read that and see that in town than just the Ashford citizen alone. So I know we got to be careful about how it's presented, but I just wanted to get the word out that next year's budget is something that everyone should be saving for so that nobody's caught off guard when their tax bill comes.
Great. Thanks, Jesse. Catherine, I have a quick question for you. Do we have a formal review process? So let me use this as an example. If I wrote something that I wanted on the community connection, can that be edited by the town somehow? Or how does that work?
You need to understand something. The Community Connections page they're their own group. Okay, I go to that page all the time. It helps me understand the pulse of what's going on in the town oft times. And I'm loath to post on there. We have a town Facebook page. We have a town website. One thing that they do have as a rule on that page is not to put political posts out there. So I would be very, very cautious about going there as your primary communication mechanism. You can have somebody go over to the town Facebook site if you want to put something out there and have somebody else, grab it and, put a link to it. Fine. You're going to need to go through the 3 admins that they have for Ashford Community Connections. You may have seen anybody who's out on Facebook and goes on there. Primarily, whenever I post on there, it's about storm outages for the most part. I've had a couple of other.
when you're posting something like that, are you posting
You're
as?
posting as an individual.
Okay.
As an individual.
Yep.
Okay, when you post on the town website, the town Facebook site is posting for the town.
So that
So
would be,
if I could just speak
Yep.
to Jesse about this. Jesse, I understand. I think it's a great communication mechanism that they have out there. And that's why I go there. But there are certain boundaries that we have as public officials that we have to be very careful about where we're posting information.
And yes, that's why I wanted to bring it up here to talk about it.
It's a
And
good idea. Yeah,
and if we could maybe work together to put something on the town's Facebook page. And I did talk with one of the admins already about this and how I didn't want it to become a political debate, but it's
will
very
be.
important to get the information out there so that.
Yes,
know about it.
we can certainly from a town perspective, put it out there as informational on the town's Facebook page. We can put it out on the website where they can link to it or whatever. What you're gonna need to do is you're going to have to handle that communication in a way that is not super lengthy. It's gonna have to be something that is, appropriate for the medium that you're working with. And long write-ups are not what people are gonna really read through. If you want to have some impact.
yeah, so let me just throw my 2 cents in here slightly. I'm thinking that, there'll probably be something that we put into the Ashford Citizen that will have to be somewhat brief, that summarizes the budgets and so forth. I don't know that I'd want to do too much more than something like that. And then if somebody from the Ashford Community Connections wanted to link to it or take it or get it there themselves, that's fine.
If I could,
Go ahead, Catherine.
you could conceivably put your entire budget letter in the Ashford Citizen.
Yep.
I would talk with Sherry. If you figure the budget letter is roughly in print, what is it, 2.5 pages?
Yeah, it's I can make it. It will be condensed.
Yep. So you could do that. There's one option or opportunity. And then you could have something even further condensed in whatever way that you could put out on the town website with a link to your budget letter.
Yep.
Which is going to be published as part of publishing the budget out there, budget proposal for the public hearing, and then for the annual town meeting.
Right.
So those are ways to do that.
So I think to answer Jesse, I do think that that's a good idea, Jesse. And I think, again, my letter, whatever I try to write, I'm going to try to really emphasize what's coming down the pike, not so much what we're battling right at the moment. I mean, obviously, we have to let people know what we're voting on now, but my emphasis is going to be on what's happening in the future, just so people aren't caught off guard. Any other remarks for the good of the board?
John Kopek, so will there be another Ashford Citizen that comes out before the town meeting?
The town meeting is, let me just look it up here again. The annual meeting is May 11th. So we'll be able to get something into the May Ashford Citizen.
You need to, if I
I think
may,
you meant the
Go
public.
ahead, Catherine.
there's a cutoff on when you can get your articles in. So it's around the 20th of the preceding month.
Yep.
Okay, if Sherry, who puts the, Sherry Much, who puts the citizen together, is aware of it, she can save space if you have to go maybe a little bit beyond the 20th, but she needs to make sure that everything's together and off to the printers, et cetera, so it can get out on time and be received by people just prior to May 1st.
Yep. Okay, very good. Cheryl, you had a comment?
I thought maybe John was talking about the public hearing.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Yeah, so John, the public hearing is April 26th.
Citizens already out.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. So yes, they'll have it in time for the town meeting, but they won't have it in time for the public hearing on this.
Correct.
They would if you put it out now for the 1st of April. Oh, I'm sorry, it's after.
We already have that issue
Yeah.
out.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, to try to jump, to get that out in time, this meeting that we just held tonight would have had to have happened, not quite a month ago. And it's just, there's deadline. I mean, I can't, there was no way to know that the board would land where it is tonight, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We just didn't have enough information. So we kind of have to deal with the constraints that we have with our budget calendar and so forth. And again, I'm asking our board members to kind of pay attention as best they can and help educate the people they talk to. I mean, when I talk to people, I'm honest. When I say I do talk to a lot of people throughout my day when I'm sort of out and about in town. And yeah, I talk about this year's budget, but mostly I talk about what's going to happen next year, just so people can network and understand. That's all. So, and yes, getting it in writing is important, and we will do that for the May issue. Catherine?
I'll check, but I think that the way the timing will work is that there will be the call for the annual town meeting. We'll be putting it out, wherever we need to put it out, but I think it'll also be on the front cover of the May Ashford Citizen. So it's going to draw people's attention to the fact that there is, the budget process is going on, and it's going to have the amounts that I think are being proposed. I'm trying to remember when the annual town meeting is. Cheryl, do you happen to have that date?
Yeah, the town meeting is May 11th.
Oh, that's right. May 11th, and then the referendum is the 25th.
And
So
also, just to interrupt, I missed an agenda item. We need to set the date and approve a notice for the public hearing.
very good.
So just real quickly, this isn't complicated. This is a motion. I apologize. It's 6C. This is to set the date. I need somebody to make a motion, a second, and the motion to set the date of Tuesday, April 26th in a virtual online format for the public hearing. So I need somebody to make that motion.
Isn't the 26th a Monday?
It's Tuesday, the 20, I could be wrong. Let me look.
Monday, the 26th.
Tuesday, April 26th.
Tuesday's the 27th.
Yeah, it's Monday.
So it's Monday, my fault. So my budget calendar's wrong. So Cheryl, are we doing Monday?
Monday, April 26th. That's what I
Or are
have
we
on my
doing-
calendar.
You have Monday, the 26th.
Yeah. I thought this was your calendar, but I have Monday, April 26th for the public hearing.
Let me just look at my calendar again.
And then there's a
Yep. All right.
Board of Finance has a special meeting immediately following.
Yep. So that's Monday, April 26th. Who picked that up? Was that you, Jesse?
Yeah.
Thank you. So set the date. I need somebody to make a motion, somebody second the motion to set the date of Monday, April 26th in a virtual online format for the public hearing.
Jesse Burnham, so moved.
I need a second.
John Kopak, second.
Thank you, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And then the second thing is we need a motion to approve a public hearing notice on the Ashford Town budget for fiscal year 2021, 2022 that will be held virtually at 7 p.m. on Monday, April 26th. And I do have a public hearing notice if anybody wants me to read it out loud. It's
You should.
you want me to read it out loud? Town of Ashford Board of Finance legal notice, public hearing Monday, April 26th, 2021, 7 p.m. to be held virtually. To join the meeting, please use the information provided at the bottom of this agenda. The electors and citizens qualified to vote in town meetings of the town of Ashford, Connecticut are hereby notified and warned that a public hearing will be held virtually. Connection information below on Monday, April 26th, 2021 at 7 p.m. The public hearing will be for the purpose of receiving information regarding the proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 town budgets. Copies of the proposed budgets can be obtained at the Town of Ashford, Connecticut's website or picked up outside the town office building during current business hours. Dated at Ashford, Connecticut, this 8th day of April 2021. Charles E. Funk, Chairman, Ashford Board of Finance. If you have concerns about your ability to attend this virtual meeting, please contact Michael D'Amato at 860-885-1047 or email zeo@ashfordtownhall.org. Please send written testimony or your intent to present at the public hearing to the Board of Ashford at ashfordtownhall.org. Public comment time may be limited to accommodate more presentations prior to the Board of Finance and Selectmen holding special meetings after the public hearing. So that's the notice that we're approving. Any comments? Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Aye.
Chuck,
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain? Motion passes unanimously, I think. Okay, thank you. I apologize for skipping that. So I believe, are done. I need a motion to adjourn.
Chuck.
Motion to adjourn.
Chuck,
Yes, Esther,
sorry, I don't have a Zoom hand waving thing.
that's okay.
Is there a special meeting to replace a alternate or anything?
Yes, we just had it at 6:50.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was having trouble dialing in, and that's why I moved to my phone because my computer wouldn't latch. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So what we did is we moved John Kopek into Carl Falsgraf's position. There's a motion to adjourn. Who made the motion?
A motion.
Okay,
Judy.
that's Judy. Yep. And I need a second.
Jesse Burnham, second.
Okay, second. Let me just interrupt 1 second before we vote. Esther, are you sure you're done? Do you have more? Did you have more that you wanted to say?
No, I'll read it in Val's minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
And I love Jesse Burnham's idea that we get equal opportunity to educate the public other than always being the bad guy. And if there's a way that we can email Sherry Munch before the 15th and just ask her to save 2 pages for your letter, then we shouldn't get bumped by the Board of Education or the superintendent of the school.
Yeah,
take
I'll
care.
talk to Sherry. Catherine?
I was gonna say, I'll take care of that if you'd like.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, all in favor of the motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Boy, that was enthusiastic. All right, anybody opposed? Abstained? Passes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Night.
Chuck.